Hi, it's Elise, and welcome to Self-Painted Podcast. But first, happy first anniversary! I am so happy. I am so happy to be here. I am so thankful, grateful, just because it has been a year, and it has been a journey. Literally, you have to admit. And today, I feel like this is the perfect date to talk about my personal journey and the creation of this podcast and everything behind going out of the comfort zone, mental health, self care, self love journey, mindset journey, everything about surpassing myself, overcoming stress, anxiety, and everything. Because I went from the shy girl to the host of a podcast about self development, and now I talk about my thoughts and I just expose my insecurities. And this is completely insane. So just for that, this is something so cool. Also, I needed just to talk about something absolutely personal, related to why I talk in English here while I'm French, and I never talked about this before, just because I felt like it was not the right time for me to talk about this, and because the last time that I decided to talk about this story, I cried myself out loud, literally for 10 minutes. So I feel like it was something out of my comfort zone, literally, to talk about this and to tell, to express. But now I feel like this is the perfect moment for me to explain to you why I decided to talk in English and the story behind it and everything after that. So just the fact that I was so hard on myself related to this podcast and everything, and my image through the camera, and just it's a lot of also about self-sabotage and self-love, we have to admit. I'm not going to talk only about this project, this podcast, because it's a lot about life lessons about myself through this podcast. So it's not only about the creation of something, create something new. It's not about that. It's about things that you learn from yourself, about yourself, when you evolve and when you grow. And that's it. I think it's the perfect resume for this episode. I hope that you are doing so great today. And first thing that I want to say is thank you so much just for being here, because I know that this is the perfect love, support, proof that I can have from you just to be here today with me. And just for that, thank you so much. So the first thing that I want to talk about, of course, it's this personal story. So for for just explaining well, I don't know if you remember, but I talked about this oral exam in London during my semester when I cried myself in front of my classmates. Literally during this oral exam, I was talking about the story that I'm going to tell you today. And this is something absolutely, yeah, personal, but kind of makes me feel emotional. So, but I think this is really something absolutely important to talk about. So, in 2019, I was in high school, and at that time, so it was the end of the year, I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. And it was my first breakup situation ever in my life. And so I was really feeling not confident, not comfortable, not good. I was so sad, of course. And I needed, I think, at the time to meet someone, to talk with someone. So I went on one social media and I decided to, find a fan account about a series that I loved at the time. And I met someone who loved that series, and we started to chat and to become friends. So she was absolutely, strong and so sweet and compassionate, and she was a good listener, and she helped me to feel confident with myself through the breakup. And it was something like this situation of meeting her through internet. It was like a gift. I'm not gonna cry. It was a gift. It was a gift because um sorry. I was like, no, I told my friend I'm not gonna cry. That's not true. It was a gift because I felt down on my knees. And just the fact that you meet someone at a certain time of your life and you're like, oh my god, like this is insane, like she's perfect, she's the perfect friend to me. It feels like this is unbelievable to live this situation, to be like her friend and to talk with her. Like it's been something absolutely crazy, but in a good way. And so we started to become friends and we talked every single day for 4 months. And it was something like so fresh, like a fresh new hair in my life. And I felt super happy and excited to leave. And, it was like my mission to be a good friend to her, like to help her to feel happy because of course like she had problems like everyone. And it was like a strong friendship. Like I don't know, like I was feeling so alone. And then I met her, and then we matched. Well, you understood. And it was something so like so great, so pure, and I was like super, proud of this friendship, and so happy to live it. So happy to say yes, I met someone, and she helped me to feel confident, and she helped me through this hard time of my life, and I felt understood. I think it was really the stronger point of it is that I felt understood because like when you try to figure everything out, when you feel like you're useless because like you are going through a breakup, you don't feel really comfortable, sorry, with your body, with um the body image, with who you are and stuff like that. It's like so cool when you feel like, oh my god, she understands everything that I'm saying, and she understood who I am. So it was something like so great. So we talked a lot every single day about the series, about her life, about my life, about life in general, about mental health, about depression, about motivation, everything. And then so it was in August, so 4 months after like the first day, like the meeting or where the fuck, yeah. So it was in August, and so we were talking, and I was supposed to go on vacation in my family. So I this day I had to take the train to visit my family in another city of France. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but like the day before going on vacation with my family, I was feeling not good, but like physically, it's like I felt something bad will happen. It was like it was really about bad instinct, like really something bad, negative, what you want. It was really I was not feeling okay. Like I was like, okay, I feel like something really horrible would happen. So first I thought that it will be the train, that train accident or something. Then I arrived at in my family house. I was alive, so I was like, okay, it's not that. And so I talked with her that day. We talked about stuff about life, and everything was really normal, really. And then she stopped to answer, like since that day. Like I didn't know why. It was really like so strange. Like I was so at my family's house, and this instinct continued to grow like in my body. Like I was like, something bad is going to happen. And my cousin was like, no, stop, you scare me. And I was like, I feel like I'm not feeling good. Like I was really like, I'm not feeling good. And just so my friend stopped to answer like completely. So I was texting her like again and again, and so I started to feel like this bad instinct was about her, you know? And 3 days after that, I received a message from her friend, and she told me, I am so sorry. She died. A car hit her and she died. So that day when I arrived at my family's house, that's it. I have nothing else to explain because I was like, what? What? And the story is that with this friend, we talked in English for a month because she was not French. And at the beginning, my English level was so bad. And she's the reason why I love to talk in English. So she's the reason why this podcast is in English. It's so hard just to admit and accept this situation and to move on and to just to accept that you're not going to talk with her anymore, and that's the end, you know. And of course, I tried to talk with her friend and to know what's going on, and you know, but it was so confusing and everything. Today, I'm not even sure that she's really dead, because it's all about, I'm not going to explain the rest of the stories. Sorry for that, because it's so much long and confusing. But it was really about a lot of, it was so confusing, like the information's like seemed not true, and it was so, I don't know how to explain this. It's like my instinct now is saying to me something is not really real, true in this story. But the fact is that I accepted that situation, that I accepted the fact that I talked with someone and that I lived a beautiful friendship for 4 months, and that she died at the end of this. No matter what, like I lived that situation, and for me, she died that day. And that's it, you know, even though like after that it was so confusing and it seemed like not really real, or, you know, strange or stuff like that. For me, she died that day, and that's it. So the fact is that I lived and everything after that. Of course, I had to move on and I had to accept the situation and to surpass myself. And it's not, I don't know how to do the transition. It's super horrible. But, next to that, I was, so stressed, and I had overthinking and anxiety. It was something absolutely, present here in my mind, in my life, and it was something like so challenging to overcome, to understand. And at a certain time, so last year, I decided that it was too much, and I understood that it was too much, and I was like, okay, now you have. It's not that you. No, you need. It's not that you have. You need to talk. You need to talk, to express your thoughts, because it's too much. I don't know if you ever felt like this when you reflect a lot about things, when you got anxiety, when you feel like it's too much, like you feel a lot of emotions at the same time, you have a lot of thoughts, like it's too much. It's like you have to express them literally. And so I got the idea of self-pilot. I think it was like in November 2022, and the first episode came out on the 2nd of April 2023. So for 6 months, I worked on this project, and I felt like, I was done being the shy girl, stressed girl with overthinking, because I felt stuck into the situation and I felt not good. And I felt like I needed to evolve. I needed to go out of my comfort zone, but I was so scared. Like at that time, I was a journalist in a very famous TV magazine here in France. And I felt not good in this job and not happy and not. I don't have any word. Like I was not feeling good, and I was so scared. To I was so scared of the judgments. I was so scared just to. Yeah, I think it was really about I had a lot of fears because it was something too new and too far from the version of myself at that time, like in November, you know. I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted to evolve, to grow, to yeah, to become someone else, but it was so so scary. I was like, are you really sure that you're ready to express, to expose your insecurities, thoughts in front of everyone and even in front of yourself, which means that you have to admit and to accept that you feel that way. That's something different. And I remember being so scared, and I remember being so excited at the same time. So it's why I decided to follow this good energy and to start to create and to think of the name, which is Self-Pilot, which is a name that I created. And it's about really, just you are your own pilot in life, and you are the one who decides. If you want to stay in a bad mood, you stay. That's your choice. If you want to move on, just surpass yourself, become the best version of yourself. This is your decision too. So this is the meaning of self-pilot. And I remember, so when I was thinking of the language of the podcast, I thought of my friends. And I was really like, I know that I lived this friendship for a reason. At the end of this, I grew up so much. I learned so much things about myself. I learned that I was so strong because even though, it was like a friend that I met online that I never like met in real, it was like harder to accept that she died suddenly like that without even having the chance to meet her in real. And so I really learned so much things about myself, some positive things about myself, about my mindset, about just the person that I am. And when I decided to create this podcast, I said, you know what, like, you deserve to do it in English. Just because, it's like since that day of, yeah, since that day when I met her, when I started to talk in English, to love to talk in English, like I just never stopped to talk in English, to learn some new words, to improve like my English level. And it's just because of her. So I was like, this is an important project in your life. You are going to grow, you are going to like be closer to the best version of yourself. So just do it actually and do it in English. Just not do a small step but a big one. And I was so scared. I was so scared just because I know that I am so perfectionist, and I talked about this in some episodes here. I knew at the time that, you know, it was something like a decision super challenging. I am someone so perfectionist and so hard, and I need everything to be perfect. So I was like, my English level is great, but of course I make mistakes, and I was so scared to make mistakes, and I was so scared to do things not perfectly. And this is the journey that I want to talk about today. And this is why I said mental health, self-care, because I think that, this creation of podcast and everything, this 1 year of podcasting, just teach me, sorry, no, told me, you know what I was talking about, told me something really important, is that no matter what, when you are evolving, when you are going out of your comfort zone, when you try to improve yourself, to grow, to evolve, you are going to meet a version of yourself that you never met. And you are going to be scared and hard on yourself sometimes. Because like I was challenging myself by talking in English, by expressing my thoughts in episodes at the beginning. It was not even about filming them. Absolutely not. It was about really recording. So I was really in this new version of me, of expressing, while I was so shy when I was young, when I was like so scared to talk, to express. So I was really in a new version of me. And of course, I was scared, and I was lost sometimes, and I was hard. I was hard on myself, and I was so into the shit of criticizing myself and saying, "Oh my god, like you made an English mistake." And it was not that horrible, and it was not something like absolutely it was not that bad, it was not that bad. And but in my mind it was like, God, God, like you have to do everything perfectly. At the end of this, I just have to admit that I am so proud of myself, because of course, yes, like every single time that I made the choice to go out of my comfort zone. So first to create a podcast, then to express my thoughts, then to film the episodes, then to upload the episodes on YouTube. Every single time this is something out of my comfort zone, and I have to admit that I am so proud of myself for that. Because of course, like this is not simple, just to evolve and just to decide to evolve. Um like it has been a hard work on myself, just to admit that first, I needed to grow, and I needed not to be the shy girl anymore. I needed to evolve. Like it was really about deciding that yes, now I need to do something out of my comfort zone and something completely new and challenging, even though I'm scared. And I have to admit that I'm proud of myself, just because I decided to listen to this to this really wish, and this strong feeling in my mind, like yes, I need to do something out of my comfort zone. The best advice that I can give, like literally if I have to give an advice, is that people will judge you anyways. So do your thing and focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. This is maybe like one of the best advices that I can give. Just because when I say focus on yourself, it's like you do your shit and you don't care about others. And also the another advice that I can give you is really, fears are becoming your future just if you decide to. Okay? Like I was so scared to go out of my comfort zone, to create a podcast, to talk, to express, to take this decision of becoming the best version of myself, and to just yeah, explaining my thoughts, because like they will become real, in certain ways. I was so scared. I was scared of a lot of things, but I decided not to listen to them. And so by this decision, I decided to don't let my fears define my future and be my future. This is something absolutely important. Like fears are only in your head, and just don't give power to them. But if I have to say maybe something to my whole self, so like maybe myself, but like 1 year ago at the beginning of this creation of the podcast, I would probably tell her, love yourself. That's it. Love yourself just the way you are, because you will make mistakes. You will make English mistakes. Like you will lose faith, you will not be believing in yourself or stuff like that. It will be challenging. It will be super hard for you to, keep believing in your project, in the concept, in the podcast, in everything. It will be hard. So please love yourself. Love yourself just the way you are. And it's something absolutely, so much important for me to tell and to express and to share with you. Just don't forget to love yourself. Never, 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 never. Um, because like, yes, I was so hard on myself. I criticized myself. I criticized my body. I criticized my content. I criticized my communication. I criticized everything. And now 1 year after, I'm like, you're dumb. You are so dumb. Like, it's useless to criticize yourself. And now I am in the process of loving myself just the way I am, with my mistakes and everything, and just seeing the good in everything. Just here, seeing that I did it. I created the podcast. I just overcame my stress of talking in front of public. I overcame the fact that I was shy. I overcame a lot of things. This is the only things to retain. Yeah, I don't know if it was really English, but it's really about that shit of just loving yourself no matter what. And you know, when you are constantly, when you are in this process of evolution, of growing through here, something out of your comfort zone, you have to love yourself. You need to love yourself. And I think that this is maybe the only thing that I have regrets on, just because, you know, at the end of this, like, even though you made mistakes or stuff like that, the only thing that is with you here in the present moment, this is yourself. You know, like, you make mistakes, you fail, you fall down, and you're so hard on yourself. But at the end of this, 1 year after, like, the only person that you are living with, that you are with here in the present moment, this is yourself. So I feel like this is maybe the challenge for this new year. Like, okay, just because like it's so much important, I think, for me, just to be in this mindset of actually I love myself, and actually, you know, I deserve to be loved by me, and I deserve just to say, yes, I'm not perfect, but I don't care. Because it was also about perfectionism, of course. And I understood so many things while recording my episodes with you. Just because this exercise of talking, of expressing things that you don't want to express, of reflecting about things that you don't want to reflect about, I understood so many things, such as the fact that I want to control everything in my perfectionism side. And even though I feel like I am perfectionist since day one, I understood this through the fact of talking. So the advice here is that if you feel comfortable with the fact to create a podcast, create one. But if not, the advice is to talk. Talk with a friend, talk with yourself, record, you know, with the app on your phone. Just express things, talk. I feel like, you know, when I express my thoughts, it's like they are not too bad, too horrible, too huge anymore, you know? And it feels like you understand a lot of things, and you are moving forward like another version of you, and it's like you are free of something, and it's like it's not in your head anymore. And just for that, I am so thankful. Just I am just so thankful, because it's like something, you know, that helped me so much, and even in my personal like mindset, mental health journey. So the only thing that I want to say is really thank you so much. And I just feel like, you know, I have a lot of things to do, to create, to talk about. Like, I feel like this is a real therapy, and something absolutely positive, and something absolutely useful, and so much pure, and so good, with good energy, really. And I love that shit. And I'm so excited about the new year, literally, about a lot of new things, new episodes, new subjects, new talks, new chit chats, new everything. And yes, I just feel like, you know, no matter what, like, I am exactly where I need to be. And the only thing that I'm going to work on is to love myself, and to stop to be so hard on myself, and to start to learn how to be indulgent, and just yet to do my thing. And even though, you know, for now, this podcast is not famous yet, while it was my goal at the beginning 1 year ago, I feel like, you know, I'm doing this for me, like, first, and this is the most important thing. And if I can help just one of you, now I mean it. I feel like this is really about that. I'm so happy if I can help just one of you. And just do your thing for yourself first, and just create the life that you want, and just decide who you want to be, and take the risk to just admit that, yes, just you can be that person, okay? Just take the risk. Just have to listen to your fears, really, because it's worth it. Like, you can literally do what you want. Actually, you can. And just your fears don't define the person that you are, your, like, abilities, yes, and your future, okay? So yes, thank you so much for being here. Just don't hesitate to share this episode with your friends, and with your relatives. And thank you again for the support. And this is just the beginning. So, see you super soon. And no matter what happens, remember, actually, you can. Of course, I had to do I had to say it, of course. Bye. Yeah, bye.